We have an interesting program for you today. In fact, a feature probably unlike anything we've done before. This is a mailbox landscape design, and Mark Linton, you come up with all these interesting little twists every once in a while. You've done a great job here. This has been a lot of fun, I bet.
It has been, and you know, it actually goes back to the homeowners, Tim and Lori. They're past clients of ours, and they had kind of a challenge, and they came to us, and we worked on some solutions.
All right, well, the challenge was kind of twofold, wasn't it? I mean, part of it was you didn't know really what the house number was. It was hard to associate the number because it wasn't really all that dominant, right?
Exactly. You know, their home is on the St. Joe River. They're blessed with a lot of property here, but the house is pushed really far back off of the street, and as vehicles are going by 35, 40 miles an hour, it's really hard to recognize a house. And so what we did was kind of create a landmark here. And so first-time guests and visitors, hey, it's easy to spot right now.
And you call it practicality with a little beautification, right?
Most definitely.
It starts, I think, with this big boulder, doesn't it?
It does, and you know, it not only beautifies and adds interest here, Craig, but when they had large delivery vehicles come in here, actually they were kind of lazy and they were cutting the corner. Yeah, and it was hard to keep good-looking grass here. So that is there as a visual reminder, and so far people have just driven around it.
Good thought there. I think I would drive around it too.
Me too.
What else is going on here, Mark?
We've got a wide variety of plants. We've got this little globe blue spruce here, which maintains these blue needles 12 months out of the year. We've softened the stone ground cover with the little dwarf ornamental grasses called golden larapi.
I noticed that.
And Craig, in a few weeks they're going to start blooming with some spikes of blue colored flowers, which contrast nicely with those green and gold leaves.
You know, Tim, one of the homeowners, Tim and Lori, right?
Yes, exactly.
Tim was saying, you know, it's not bad for a start. Well, it's not bad for any stage, right? What you see here is fantastic.
We just planted it this spring, and of course things are going to grow and fill in, but as soon as it's planted, of course it looks very nice.
And you've got a little theme going on here with the grass.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite ornamental grasses. It's unique and unusual because it's actually a summer blooming grass. It not only blooms in the summertime, but continues to bloom into the fall. It's our feather reed grass, and stops growing at about 4.5 feet in height, and then develops these really beautiful tan feathery plumes.
You got a knockout rose up front, I see.
Very good, Craig. We've actually got a couple of them, one on each side of the mailbox, which those are blooming nonstop all throughout the seasons. We also have some little ground cover plants, hens and chicks, really tough little succulent. That's a little kind of difficult growing conditions up there, but actually they're going to thrive and do very well in those conditions.
Yeah, you can't just put anything out there, can you?
No, it's going to get a lot of salt spray off of the road, but positive they will be fine.
Wow, this is a beauty.
Isn't this neat?
Yeah.
And you know what, both Tim and Lori, they have an appreciation for rare and unusual plants, and certainly this falls into that classification. It's our weeping Alaskan cedar. Very dramatic. It is a statement type of plant here, and this is strategically located exactly on the backside of the mailbox to give us some vertical height here.
And this has to be at least 10 foot, right?
Oh my goodness.
12 maybe.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, very good. And what about the perimeter here?
Oh, some other really cool plants. I love this one. You can see kind of different shades of green in here. We've got kind of the dark emerald green and more of the chartreuse green on the edge of the branches. Another kind of architectural plant that you really don't prune into any certain shape, and the appreciation is just for these fluffy branches here. It's our columnar dwarf Hinoki cypress.
I like the way you've used the boulders, and then you did a little bit of a grouping here, didn't you?
We did. This is probably the most spectacular specimen evergreen in the planting here. It's our Hindu pan pine, and you know, makes a nice statement there with those architectural branches. So we wanted to create a special spot for it. We created a mound here, brought in some soil, built it up, kind of putting it on a platform, Craig.
Yeah.
And then we did a grade change with this retaining wall here of boulders, which I like how the boulders also pull out some of these same colors that you see in the stone ground cover.
Wow, the dimension really adds a lot out here because it is a wide space and it breaks it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Very cool. Well, another knockout here, and then what else, Mark?
One of our rare sedums, and you can see those burgundy stems in there. And later on this summer and into the fall, going to develop with clusters of pink flowers.
All right, Lori's real pleased. I think Tim's pleased too, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Well, let's hear from Tim now, one of the homeowners here. Tim and Lori, living on the St. Joe River.
Okay.
Well, Tim and Lori join us here along the banks of the St. Joe River. Tim, Lori, good to see both of you. You've got a beautiful home here.
Thank you.
And you've done some great things through Linton's. The last project that was done here was actually out on the road. We just featured it. Talk a little bit about what you discussed maybe with Mark, things that you wanted to accomplish with that design around the mailbox.
Well, when we first moved in here, there was nothing out there but a couple bushes, and it got run over all the time. So I wanted to expand it, make it wider, and I knew if Mark did it, he'd do a great job.
You don't have anybody running over that boulder, do you?
We don't. That was a good spot to put the boulder. He did work for me back in '87, I think, 1987. He did a house for me, so I knew if we got Mark, he'd do a good job.
Well, he's done a great job here, and I understand too. Lori tells me that you like to, well, stop by every once in a while at Linton's and pick up a plant or two, and you're a hands-on guy.
We do a little bit, yeah.
Very good, very good. Well, Mark's going to come now and surprise us, I think, Lori, with a little presentation here, if you don't mind.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Well,
Thank you.
Tim and Lori, just wanted to thank you not only for the opportunity to work for both of you and putting your trust and confidence in our company, but also allowing us to feature your landscaping with all the viewers out there.
All right,
Yeah,
we
no problem.
appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
I think, Mark, this is our first ever mailbox landscape design that we featured on the program. Thanks to Tim and Lori.
Compliments on it.
Yes, yes, we do, all the time.
I'm pretty sure it's the best one in Michiana.
There you go. Well, if you'd like to get some ideas about how to maybe spruce up your mailbox, do some landscaping that'll make a statement, and also, as Mark has taught us, prove to be beneficial in terms of practicality, give Linton's a call. They'll help you out.